Polystell, we work with additives, and Ambertech is a company that work with specialties in terms of catalysts. We're going to talk about both companies, what can they can offer to this market of composites. I like to say that Polystell is in the trade fair. We are in F10. We brought all of our additives, so if you need any clarification, it will be a pleasure to have you there. Talking about what's the idea of Polystell and Umbertech additives, we have some additives that support processes, performance additives, property modifiers. That's what we are going to discuss today. Green additives. We are talking more and more about sustainability, ESG projects that attack less the environment, organic peroxides by Amber Attack, and releasing waxes. All of this to improve product properties and also thinking on cost reduction. We need to bring economic feasibility of the additive to the formulation. Guided by sustainability, we have been working strongly in nanomaterials and nanotechnologies and also nationalizing raw materials. So with a lot of pride that we presented in 2023, Polystell was awarded in the second place in the category of additives in the event promoted by Almaco, and Ambertech also ranked second. I like to highlight that this year we won, we were, we got the Hall of Fame. We got a personality award to talk about composite additives. In Polystell, we have the process supporters, we have tensoactives that they should be used in the dispersion of pigments. We have humectant and deaerating additives. We also UV absorbers and also Ambertech is specialized in organic peroxides and waxes. To talk more about specialties, Polystell work with titanium stencers. We are bringing to the fair. It's a launch, thinking on the reduction of costs. Titanium re- extensors that can be applied to composites, polar activator, odor suppressors, the issues of VOC, where you have a high concentration of styrene. Styrene is responsible for the environment impact and odor, also occupational health. By legislation, with this odor suppressor, you can still use styrene, but we change the evaporation rate and you don't feel the smell. Flexibilizing agents for resins to improve flexibility, and polytones, which is pastes that are pigmented for the composite market. Ambertech works with peracetic oxide, acid, acetyl, acetone peroxide, AAP, and releasing waxes. After this first presentation, we are going to talk now about what Polystell is bringing to the trade fair to potentialize mechanical property of composite materials. Composite materials are familiar with all of you. You have gel coat, glass, fiberglass, and resin for the filling. So we have composites. Polystell always thinking about the structure, thought of a form to improve the addition of fiberglass to the resin. If we can improve the adhesion, this is adhesion process. If we improve the adherence of fiberglass to the resin, naturally we will improve mechanical properties. So introducing to you, we have Polyomax 5491 roll-off. It's a polymeric material, so it's a polymer. This polymer will work as I show you in the introduction. It improves humidity in the fiberglass. Then we start talking about gains in mechanical properties. There are some tests that we prepare in Elastel showing this result, and we see these gains in property. There's an example here of a hot process, a pultrusion process. We have the polyester resin. the black pigment to identify the part, the fiberglass, and the additive in the wash. It's a liquid or resinous additive of high molecular weight, and after studied, we have some characteristics that are potentialized here. Analyzing the typical traction test, we submit the part to a traction force to see how resistant it is. So here we have the part without the additive and with. In the chart we can see that 4 specimens were used, and in average we can see a gain. What justifies this gain? It's directly connected to the capacity of uh, umectação,
Moisting.
of moistening that this material brings. So the part gain resistance. This is a flexion test, how much this part resists under flexion, because in traction we said that there was a gain. In flexion we can see that there are also gains. The 4 samples that were submitted to tests without the additive and 4 with the additive. In the average we can see a gain. Calculating, here we have the part being extruded. This is a pultrusion process, a conventional process. Here we have in the traction result, you see that with the insertion of the additive, we gain more than 6% of resistance in rupture strength, meaning that the test resists to traction until rupture, but we had a gain of 6% in elongation, which is proportional. So the part is resisting in its elongation before rupture. We had a gain 23%. In the flexion resistance, for example, for a fishing rod, we had an improvement in 51% in flexion strength, and in elongation 10%. So this additive can improve the performance of your composite. If you think of the economics, which is the possibility of reducing cost, we can also discuss cost reduction, because if this additive potentializes the mechanical properties of this composite, I can also replace part of the resin without compromising the material resistance. This is a spoiler. This is some of our clients do. So the additive, to bring economic feasibility, can provide a final product with greater resistance, or also the capacity of partially substituting the resin, replacing, decreasing the final cost. This is Polyomeg 54. So we have some other launches with the same goal to improve the material mechanical properties, now with other structures. So the 5491 is a polymer of low molecular weight. We had some tests run in exterior labs to evaluate these gains in mechanical resistance. We sent to an external lab for the resistance test, traction, flexion, and elongation, now with other chemical structures. So we follow these standards, NT 246761 and 246761. These are standards that were created for these tests. Another chemical structure that I like to introduce to you, this is polycover 1661 5S. This is also an additive that improves the moisturing in a glass fiber to bring more mechanical resistance. What's the difference of this one to the 5491, the one that I just presented to you? It also is 100% hydrophobic, so we have some other tests that we run in Polystell that said that working with this product in a material similar to a water tank or a swimming pool. So I put this product with a material that is similar to the swimming pool material, because as it brings me mechanical resistance, it also brings me water resistance. When we run the test in the turtle box, which is a water tank, and we put the heated gel coat in the tank, we can see that there is also water resistance. For mechanical resistance gains, here we have resistance to traction. We had an increase in 12% by adding the additive. So in the composite, we had gain 12% in elongation. We got up to 8% in elongation to rupture. Of course, we can also add to this the water resistance. So if you want a composite that needs to be water resistant, where the goal is to avoid any leakage of water, and with mechanical resistance, polycover 16615S is a good option. And the last product in this line of materials for mechanical resistance that we are bringing is an additive modified with aramide. Aramide is a material that's used in different applications when you intend to have a mechanical resistance. When you want mechanical resistance, very common to use aramide. Aramide is used in ballistic protectors for a number of different applications. Here we have an additive modified with this aramide, so we can have compatibility with our composites, bringing mechanical properties. Tests run with aramide show that the mechanical resistance also increases, show that now we have a material that is more resistant with the possibility of reducing costs as well, because I can adjust the amount of polymers. Of course, the idea now is to present an additive that will bring a final product with differentiated output. The increases with aramide. Aramide was increased, and we have a gain in resistance to impact. So the part that is a bicomponent, that's one stroke catalyst that is very rigid, with the presence of aramide, we have an increase in 5% in the resistance to impact. Means that this part will rupture with a greater impact. In the market of synthetic marble, where they use mineral fills with resin, this final part is extremely rigid. To get more flexibility in the part allows me to have more shelf life and less complaints and less adjustments in the formulation. Polyed plastic string 0084 modified with aramid may be the solution. It's a solid material, but material comes already dispersed, ready to be inserted in your polymers. This was Polystell presentation. I'd like to highlight that we have all of our team here. If you have any questions and if you need any clarification, our team is here available to talk to you. We are in F10. It will be a pleasure to have you there. Thank you.
Eu não sei